So the Cavaliers in orange will kick it away with Brian Delaney, the sophomore from Chantilly, Virginia. And there will be no return. And the Flames will start from their 25. And when you talk about Liberty, one of the real interesting guys for this team outside of Gandy Golden is the quarterback, 6'2" junior, Stephen Buckshot Calvert. Buckshot's not a nickname. Buckshot's his middle name.
Well, we'll get the opportunity to see what Buckshot does today. It was interesting to talk to a lot of the players from UVA's defense. They know what he's capable of doing, and they say they cannot come into this game and take him lightly.
Frankie Hickson in the backfield. They split a tight end Fouts into the slot along with DJ Stubbs. 2-by-2 look early, and they'll throw to Fouts, the tight end, and he is taken out of bounds by Devontae Cross, who is starting today in the secondary for Joey Blunt. There's a look at Cross, the converted wide receiver. He's actually been back and forth from offense to defense in his Virginia career. And here's the tempo we were talking about, Takeo. That's Stubbs in motion. And Hickson on the ball carry here to the near side. He'll get a couple of yards. And you see Tim Harris and Jordan Mack, who's back in the lineup for a second ball game.
UVA defense did a nice job. Unlike last week, and this is the point of emphasis they came into this game. We can't do more than what's asked of us. Assignment football, gap responsibility, and we'll minimize every run.
Calvert in the Flames, first third down, and here's Hickson. And he will break the 35 for the Liberty first down. Juan Thornhill, the first guy there for Virginia. By the way, Liberty, because they are a transition institution from FCS to FBS, they do not fall in the national rankings. So when we tell you they would be ranked today, Liberty would be 45th in the country in third down. They're 32% coming in, but they're 12 of their last 27 coming into today's ball game. And on first down, Hickson again picks up about 5, maybe 6 on the play. Jordan Mack, the tackle for Virginia.
They got a very nice push up front, and when you look at this play, Joe Daly put emphasis on, we feel like we can create mismatches to be able to get positive yards.
This is Stubbs. And that will be close to another first down for the Flames. In fact, it will be. Tim Harris, the tackle for UVA.
I really like what they're doing. They're not pushing the envelope. They're not trying to take a shot downfield right now. They're trying to get guys comfortable, lull them to sleep, and maybe take a shot in between the 40s, which is right now. Peyton
Pickett, junior college transfer into the ball game at running back, and this is his first carry, and Pickett breaks free. Pickett inside the Virginia 30, banged out of bounds at the Cavalier 25 by Thornhill.
Peyton Pickett, very good running back. And what people need to know, people don't see Liberty play, but this is the same offense that has posted over 500 yards of offense for the past four times this season.
Play fake, Calvert. Going to throw to the end zone, and Gandy Golden there, but out of bounds. So Antonio Gandy Golden, defended by arguably the best guy in the Virginia secondary, in Bryce Hall.
Bryce Hall, he is the guy with the responsibility, and he had very nice coverage. He understood, look, Antonio Golden Gandy, he's going to run a big, long route, but great one-on-one execution in the end zone.
First time they try to throw to the big playmaker on the perimeter, who's got 51 catches coming into the ball game. Pistol set on 2nd and 10 for the Flames. Pickett again, breaking at the left side. Got a nice block. The first and goal coming up for Liberty at the 7. B.J. Farrell, wide receiver, helping him downfield, get a couple of more yards there, Takeo.
And they talked about guys being very unselfish. B.J. Farrell, you'll see him at the end of the play, but great block to be able to spring his running back, Peyton Pickett, for extra yardage.
Pickett again. 2nd and goal coming up. First 3 minutes of the ball game. Liberty on the opening possession of the contest. Second and goal coming up. And, of course, our red zone brought to you by CPI Security. 27 touchdowns, 35 possessions for Liberty. And Thornhill the stop there, so third and goal coming up.
Judging by what Liberty is doing on offense, they took several pages out of Pitt's offense as far as running the plays, what they were planning on doing. And by them increasing that tempo, it makes it hard for a defensive line and linebackers to know where you're going to fit after you get the call.
Frankie Hickson's come back in the backfield. He'll get the handoff from Calvert, and he stopped at the 1. Okay, Taquillo, you're an underdog team. You're making your transition. Turner Gills brought you into this first ever meeting. I'm not surprised that they go for this. Are you?
I'm not surprised either, but you don't have anything to lose, in my opinion. You drove the ball all the way down the football field, create some type of specialty play, and score. And if you're able to walk away with the touchdown, imagine the confidence it gives your offensive team, not just the guys who are out there playing, but the entire team.
They bring an extra offensive lineman or two in the game. In fact, Darian Bounds has come in to play on the near edge. And the carry for the touchdown is Hickson. And Liberty has drawn first blood in the first ever meeting with Virginia.
Look at Dante Hupton. Dante Hupton pulling guard on the right side. He comes around, and he just pretty much demolishes the defender in the middle. Turner Gill, touchdown. Feeling very confident about the game plan, what they came into this game.
Probert's point after is good. 12 plays, 75 yards, 4:26 time of the drive, and a good bit of it on the ground. Frankie Hickson punches in the score. Of it at the 5. Inside the 15. Well, bad memories from last Friday night. 10-point win for Pittsburgh. A lot of it, the Panther defense. Virginia allowed 5 sacks for 46 yards. The Cavaliers only ran it for 44. And Olamide Zaccheaus was handcuffed. 4 catches, 33 yards. And Rocco Mendenhall's team, despite the good work they thought they did, Taquillo finds themselves down 7-0, and Liberty ran it right at them a little bit in that drive.
Yeah, they did, and we came into this game thinking, okay, Antonio Gannon-Golden, he's the key guy. He's the golden guy they're going to get the ball to. But they had more runs on that last drive than they had passes.
Here's Joe Reed, the dangerous Cavalier return man at the 8. Reed 30, 35, 40. Reed trying to find another angle, 45-yard line. So a good place for Bryce Perkins in Virginia to get started. The dangerous Joe Reed, 4th in the ACC at 23 yards of return.
The thing I like about Joe Reed, look at his vision. He understands creases, and he gets skinny to be able to not allow anybody to take a direct hit on him. And you got to appreciate that. Coach Bronco Mendenhall talked about we have to win the field position battle.
38-yard return. Sets up Perkins and the Wahoos on their 45. Zaccheaus the catch and the breakaway. Olamide quickly into Liberty territory. Elijah Benton might have saved the touchdown for the Flames at the 26.
Olamide Zaccheaus, we talked about it in the open. One-on-one, you can't afford to play this guy with with the one-on-one coverage. One missed tackle, and it will be a house call. That's how dangerous he is.
Liberty's defense has struggled, to say the least, here in the last couple weeks. They come in allowing almost 524 yards a game, and Jordan Ellis and Perkins will keep it on the read play and get down toward another first down. Lemonnier, the defensive end, who we'll talk about, both of them, Wells and Jesse Lemonnier, the stop. And here's a look at the details of Bryce Perkins' campaign. It's been impressive. Junior college transfer out of Arizona Western, started his career collegiately at Arizona State.
And I love his poise. I love his ability to stand inside of the pocket, to be able to dissect what he sees and move forward from that point on.
Second and short. Out in the flat, Zacchaeus reroutes. He'll get the first down. Couldn't get much more from it. Isaac Steele, the free safety on the stop.
Here's another one-on-one opportunity. They're not trying to do anything special, but it really complements what he does well. Get the ball in his hand and let him make that one-on-one decision to see if he can beat that defensive back. They converted a first down right here.
Virginia's made some changes. Look at this now. Dubois, Zacchaeus, and Joe Reed go to the near side. Terrell Jana, who caught the TD against Pittsburgh, here to the wide side at the right. First down. Perkins cuts it loose. Reed up top of the catch. Touchdown Virginia on a great catch by Joe Reed right over the top of Jeremy Peters.
A simple wheel route by Joe Reed. He comes out stark as if he's blocking. They got the matchup that they wanted. And what you have to realize, Joe Reed, 6'3", 215 pounds, going up against Jeremy Peters, a 5'10" defensive back. And that's the case to where Bryce Perkins is saying, my guy is better than yours.
4 plays, 55 yards, and 2:04 in the game is tied. The acrobatics of Bryce Perkins in the win over Louisville from earlier this year. We welcome you back to Charlottesville. Tied at 7 on Joe Reed's third touchdown catch. And there'll be no return. And Liberty will play from its 25. And let's get to Keo Spikes' 4 keys to the game today.
The 4 keys of the game. This is important for both teams to understand to have success. Liberty, they came out earlier creating confusion with tempo. That's the reason why they were able to have so much success in the run game. And Virginia, it's important for these guys, which they did on the last drive. You have to protect Bryce Perkins in order for us to have a chance for him to do his magnificent things with the ball in his hand.
Frankie Hickson, who got the touchdown, works in the pistol with Stephen Calvert. And cannot get away from Eli Handback. Looked like Tommy Chris shut down the angle, and then 58 Handback runs in there to finish him off.
Well, Tommy Chris, he did a nice job of just coming across, setting the edge, which allowed the pursuit from the backside to be able to catch it. And that's what you want to do on a 3-4 defense, set the edges.
Virginia's only got 2 guys with their hand on the dirt. And here's Calvert throwing. Gandy Golden's first catch of the day, and a nice spin to a first down across the 40 before Bryce Hall takes down Antonio Gandy Golden, 6'4" junior at 220 from just outside of Atlanta and Dallas, Georgia.
Well, you look at the cushion. He gives a lot of cushion, Bryce Hall, but you have to respect his speed, and you know he's read the scouting report understanding he's dangerous like that.
Calvert out here in the flat. And then Stubbs, who's already touched it a couple times. And so Buckshot Calvert's got the Flames rolling on their second possession, Rebecca.
And Wes, you mentioned that Buckshot is Stephen Calvert's legal middle name. That's just what everyone calls him. He's named after his dad's favorite NASCAR driver, Buckshot Jones. His dad wanted Buckshot to be his first name, but Mom said no way. So they had to compromise.
This is Hickson. That may be my favorite part of the whole story.
That's a great story. I wish we could get his mom on right now.
Yeah. I'm not going to have my child go through life named Buckshot. Third down play, and Hickson got hit at the wall by the Cavaliers. And I think this is a solid fourth down measurement. This is 4th and a yard. Now Turner Gill, do you stay as aggressive as you did on your opening possession? Plus territory, you get a full yard here, Spikes.
Well, he's going to go for it, but what this is telling you is this. He knows his defense can't hold up. They can't stand up. So this is going to be a scoring battle. An exciting game to watch from the offensive side.
Peyton Pickett's come in. Calvert wants to throw and does. It's caught. B.J. Farrow, first down at the Virginia 38.
Nice play call by Joe Daly. He sent B.J. Farrow in motion to see exactly what he was getting with the coverage, man-to-man. Nice pitch and catch for the first down.
Peyton Pickett stays in the ball game with Calvert. You see Bollinger, the fullback, also in as a wingback on that left side. Calvert wants to throw, loading it up, and mistimed it, and then Tim Harris ran into Thornhill, or else he'd have had the interception. Farrow was the only flame in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I want to say they tried to get him with a double move. And I don't know what Stephen Calvert was saying. You can't force the ball. I know you can't. I know you want to be able to create big plays, but you can't force the ball and turn the football over. And that's one of the things they talked about. We cannot give this team extra chances to hold on to the football and score against us.
Gandy Golden and Caleb Coleman here to the near side. And Pickett toward the 34. Third down coming up.
Peyton Pickett does a nice job of his patience. A lot of people haven't seen him run the football, but they are very effective running the football. His patience, understanding, and knowing we can create seams, but I just have to be patient, understanding, and reading my blocks.
Flames already over 100 yards of total offense on this second possession. Third and the full 5. And now Turner Gill wants a timeout. Stephen Calvert looked over. There seemed to be just a bit of hesitation.
And we won't back down. Coming at you. Deep in the traffic.
Give us a little tidbit over here so we can feed the fans on TV.
Former Tar Heel quarterback Joe Daly started his career at Nebraska. Out of Freehold, New Jersey is the Flames OC. So out of the Turner Gill timeout, Peyton Pickett has come back in the game to work with Calvert in the backfield. And a 3-by-1 look here to Keogh.
Yeah.
Gandy Golden to the boundary at the right. And Stubbs couldn't hang on to it. He was wide open.
They got the look what they wanted, man-to-man defense, and a simple slant route. They brought the number 3 receiver coming in to clear out. DJ Stubbs just he couldn't hold on to the football.
So they're going to try the field goal, and this is Alex Probert, who appeared for the first time last week. Hit a 21-yarder at UMass. Career best 51 2 years ago against Robert Morris, and this 51-yarder short. So a missed field goal. And Virginia going to get the ball back at the 34.
I don't know if he got all of it. Well, he knew he didn't. He told us he didn't get all of it. But this is the reason why you probably see this Liberty's offense. They're going to go for it. I guarantee you, if they get up in the 40s, they're going to continue to go for it, Wes.
Right. So Turner Gill's defense back to the field. And here's Bryce Perkins in Virginia, who went 55 yards in 4 plays following Liberty's first touchdown. And Perkins wants to throw. Here's another catch for Zacchaeus. He's been busy early, and Olamide's got a 15-yard play and a first down. Bajor Wilson, the corner, the tackle for the Flames.
Well, Jordan Wilson, the defensive back, he's just giving way too much cushion. And I understand you have to respect your opponent, but you got to challenge them and make the offensive coordinator think I can jump a certain route.
First and 10. Jordan Ellis. About 3 on the play, Rebecca. Second down coming up.
The guys out there working with some pretty nice field conditions. That's because UVA redid their field this week. They put in brand new sod because last week's game, man, it got tore up. You saw it. It was pouring rain out here. Interesting note, though, Liberty hasn't played on real grass since November 5th of 2016 at Presbyterian College. I talked to Coach Gill before the game. I said, it's been a while since you've been on this, Coach. He said, no big deal. Doesn't matter.
Locked in. Perkins across the middle. Dubois. Robert Anaya, the offensive coordinator, told us yesterday, Takeo, when the chips go to the middle of the table and we got to pick up a big down, Hassis Dubois is the guy.
Hassis Dubois, he's been coming on his emergence of him being able to be another threat. They need another threat to show up in this offense, and he's the guy that's been able to do it. Coach Anaya, the mastermind on the offensive side. He won't give you much, but he'll give you enough to let you know, hey, we're going to do certain things.
Working in space is Ellis. And he'll be toward the 30-yard line. Jordan Ellis comes into the ball game 6th in the ACC at 81 yards a game. He's 5th in yardage, though, rushing yardage, 729. And, you know, everybody's caught up in the Bryce Perkins experience, Takeo, but boy, Jordan Ellis has been steady.
Listen, in order for these guys to be able to have success, Jordan Ellis is a guy who needs to contribute, and he's been doing that over 5 yards a carry.
Here's Perkins. He'll keep it. And Bryce Perkins has the first down. Inside the 25 to the 23 goes Perkins. Steal the safety to stop.
We talked about Jordan Ellis being one of the guys who's contributing rushing the football. But Bryce Perkins, the zone read, people want to say he's a double threat. I think he's an all-around quarterback. His patience is what stands out to me. Not just sitting in the pocket, but being able to make guys miss in small areas.
Pretty big guy, too. 6'3", 215 pounds. Just looks bigger. Especially when he does something like that. Here's Perkins, another keeper this time. Working the wide side of the field. And toward another Virginia first down. Solomon Ajayi, the younger brother of the Super Bowl champion running back of the Eagles, makes the tackle.
I think this is the design run. And they're using their running backs to be the lead blockers for Bryce Perkins. And that's what you do. When you have a player like Bryce Perkins who can not only throw the football but run the football efficiently, you give him more opportunities by designing plays like that.
Second best running total for a Cavalier quarterback in school history. This ball for Perkins. He's going to read the blocks here. And he'll score. And another one to the tally. 7th rushing score of the year for Perkins as Virginia takes the lead.
I don't know if this was a design run for Bryce Perkins. He looked up, didn't see what he wanted, but he got outstanding blocking by his wide receivers out there. It goes to show you how potent and dangerous they are.
7-play drive. Point after from Delaney is good. And Virginia now a touchdown advantage with 1:19 to go here in the first half, or first quarter on Liberty. And Bryce Perkins with 39 yards on 4 carries, and he's a perfect 5 for 5 throwing the football for Bronco Mendenhall in this first half. Hard to guard when you're doing stuff like that. Here's a look at Seneca Espinosa. Espinosa averaging almost 22 yards a return. Delaney will kick it away. And there will not be a return. Third straight possession that the Flames start from their 25. Back to the touchdown.
You look at the defensive back up top. He's in a one-on-one coverage situation with the tight end. Well, he can come off, but look, he gets rolled up out of bounds. Bryce Perkins sees that down the field, and that really sprung him to be able to make that touchdown. Tight end Evan Butts did a nice job of clearing out.
So now, back to Liberty's chance here, huh? Calvert on first down and overthrows Stubbs. Well, they've tried to go to DJ Stubbs. Juan Thornhill was lurking. Takeo, is that because are they decoying Gandy Golden?
They are. They've been going from a man-to-man situation. 28 Brenton Nelson was in a zone that time, and he did a nice job of just staying in the lane, made Stephen Calvert, the quarterback, hold on to the ball too long, and the timing was messed up.
Here is Pickett. Boy, Liberty getting something out of the ground game here in this first quarter for sure as we're approaching the final minute. 8 yards for Peyton Pickett, sophomore from Arlington, Texas, and a transfer out of Trinity Valley Community College. Very quickly, here's third and short. And Pickett toward the 35, and I believe he broke the play of the 35, and that'll be enough for the first down. Calvert started the game, by the way. Takeo 6 of 7 throwing the ball, and he's now missed 3 in a row.
Yeah, but I tell you what, if Thomas Sargent, number 65, his center continues to block that way, he won't have to throw the ball that much. They're doing a nice job up front. Collectively, their offensive line getting pushed against Virginia's defensive line.
And we got early movement there. It looked like
Number 61.
Ben Fiordelise, redshirt senior from Iowa.
First down.
Big fella at 325 at left guard moved. There's a look at Ben. We're going to get our director, Lonnie Dale, to shoot Thomas Sargent before this day is over, because he is already in the Takeo Spikes fan club.
Love him. I love him.
Throw, and this is Fouts, the tight end. He got banged around right at the line. Back to the original line at the 35, and that'll likely take us to the end of the first 15 minutes here in Charlottesville. Liberty scored first. Virginia has come back. 14 straight for the Cavaliers. They have a touchdown advantage. After one period of play here at Scott Stadium on a beautiful Saturday in November. ACC football presented by your Ford dealers continues in just a moment.
We keep on marching, and we won't back down. Coming at you. Deep in the traffic, and it's rolled away. Coming at you.
Diving catch of it at the 5. Takeo, 5 of them have been for 12 or more yards, and 4 of them are pass plays. Liberty starts quarter 2, second in the full 10. Calvert hands to Pickett. That's 8 yards. Third and about 3 maybe coming up. Brenton Nelson out of the secondary, the tackle.
Number 65, their center, Thomas Sargent. They come down with the double team. And he has Dante Duff, the right guard, coming along as well. Great push up the middle.
Liberty 1 of 5 on third down. They're going to loop it downfield and caught. B.J. Farrell, an over-the-shoulder grab against Bryce Hall. What a throw, what a catch.
What a throw, what a catch. B.J. Farrell one-handed. It's almost like he mossed him. Or Odell Beckham.
Take your pick.
We are seeing some delicious football today.
Pistol on 1st and 10. Calvert going to cut it loose. Gandy Golden the target. And thrown away. Tim Harris in coverage for Virginia.
Stephen Calvert, he has a tendency to drop back, and sometimes it seems like, okay, I'm just going to chunk it wherever because he trusts in his receivers. But you got to be more careful than that. You got Bryce Hall over there, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. He's a guy who creates turnovers in every aspect of the game.
High snap. Ball handed to Pickett. Well, Pickett's he's not going down on first contact. 3rd down and about 3 on another fine run by Peyton Pickett. 7 yards.
Peyton Pickett's vision is very good. He put a move on the inside linebacker, Zanes Andier, and made him miss in the hole.
Calvert, quick throw out in the flat. Here's Pickett around the edge. 1st down. Bumped out of bounds by Nelson. Takeo, I think we thought Liberty might be more vertical, but they're picking and choosing their spots vertically on offense, and it's a lot more horizontal stuff.
Yeah, and Joe Daly talked about it. We will create that tempo to find the mismatches that we want. It's another version of RPO football.
This is Hickson. And Frankie Hickson a couple of yards.
Virginia did a nice job that time of just simply stacking the box, putting more guys inside that Liberty could not block.
Cavaliers lost Mandy Alonso in the pit game 8 days ago to Keogh. They're thin up front. There's no 2 ways about it. Really kind of play in the position with about 5 guys in their front 3.
Yeah, and they got to get creative with the type of schemes. You're gonna ask guys to play positions they never played before and techniques that they never used before.
Calvert looked at Gandy Golden, comes back here to the near side. Farrow, and that's thrown out. 3rd down coming up.
That was a good decision by Stephen Calvert. He looked left. Nobody was open. He looked right. He saw him double covered, and he just threw it away. Good decision making to live to play another snap.
Well, Liberty brings another tight end into the package. Chris Barrett has checked in. He's in a slot here with Pickett and Farrow to the near side. Gandy Golden and Stubbs to the far side, and a Virginia timeout with almost 3 minutes gone. Bronco Mendenhall wants to visit with his unit. Big 3rd down. The Flames do it without a conference alliance in football. They will play in the A-Sun in their other sports, the Atlantic Sun. Here's a 3rd down play for Stephen Buckshot Calvert and the Flames. And he threw it away, and it's intercepted. And it's picked by Elliott Brown. Looked like a screen to Keogh.
I'll be honest, I think this was, it looked as if it was a screen. But number 84, J.T. Wood, looked like he didn't get the memo. He went up to start block, which, in fact, he should have been coming back to the football. Stephen Calvert just threw it blind.
So 12-17 to go first half, and the interception for Elliott Brown.
Nice awareness by Elliott Brown. Great hands, great awareness.
Virginia starts from its 23 with a touchdown lead. And look at Jordan Ellis banging away for about 5 or 6 yards on 1st down.
Strong running up the middle. And he pretty much just ran over Corbin Jackson. And that's what you want. That's the type of mentality. That's the type of attitude Bronco Mendenhall wants when he runs the football. This is the identity, what they want to display.
That's Reed out of the backfield. That's Ellis on a swing pass. Out near midfield goes Jordan Ellis. Malik Matthews was the closest guy in a red helmet to him.
Busted coverage on the back end. Malik Matthews, he's coming down, chasing in the inside. He has no responsibility. And it allows Jordan Ellis to be able to catch the little swing route for a nice gain.
Out near midfield for Virginia. Perkins is 6 for 6 here in the first half. Little reverse, and here is the speedy Tavares Kelly.
Got the numbers.
And Kelly will get 11. Bryce Perkins helping with a block. And I mean a pretty good block here.
A simple end and around. And they're using Bryce Perkins. I know he does it all. The everything threat, but he comes down and throws a whiff block. What is a whiff block? Where you just barely do come across and you just throw wind versus in throwing contact. Nice whiff.
Look better live action, by the way. Here's Perkins. 1st and 10. And another completion. Zacchaeus near a first down at the 29. Boy, Alameda Zacchaeus is on early.
He's been productive early. And he's taking advantage of the soft cushion that the defensive backs are giving him. And we said it in open. Anytime you give this guy cushion in space, he will make you look silly in open field. And that's what he's doing.
2nd and short. Perkins in the pistol. Play fake to Ellis. Hit as he throws. Looking in zone. Zacchaeus just beyond his reach. He had gotten past Jeremy Peters.
This is the read that they wanted. This is the read that they got. One-on-one. Just overthrew it just a little bit. But that's okay. The intent is there. But look at the production over career-wise. Over 200 receptions. He is a force to be reckoned with, Russ.
Yep, that's Kelly in motion. Ellis will get the call on 3rd and short. It'll be first down for Virginia. Tolan Avery, the defensive tackle, redshirt senior from Galveston, Texas, who had 7 tackles in the loss at UMass last week. The stop there for the Flames.
That was a nice stop. They needed him to do that. He got his arms out. He was able to hold on because he was 1 tackle away from really gassing them up the middle.
The big back Jamari Peacock has come in out of Yulee, Florida, with Ellis and Perkins in the backfield. Here's Perkins, little RPO, and he'll keep it. Fake the pitch. Bryce inside the 15. Now this is pretty clean looking here, Takeo.
Yes, it is. Defensive coordinator Robert Wembley talked about we have to defend their RPO. And it gives him 3 options whether or not to hand it off or run the option like and pitch it to the side. But he's a very dynamic player that presents a lot of problems.
Janus come back in the ball game. Dubois and Zacchaeus to the far side. Ellis. And that'll be a pickup of about 5 to the 8. 2nd down for Virginia. Cavaliers have been very deliberate. Yes, they got a 4-play drive for a score. And then 7 plays that ended in a Perkins run for Bronco Mendenhall. But this off their own 23 following the Brown interception has been a little more direct.
Absolutely, and very deliberate in what they're doing. They're staying committed to the process of just running the football, wearing down the defensive line of Liberty.
Ellis shoots through. Is he in? I think they're going to mark him short of the goal, and they do. Be 1st and goal, Virginia. Jordan Ellis denied his 8th touchdown.
I'm not sure if he held on to the football before he got... Oh, he dropped the ball. That's a fumble. But he recovered his fumble.
Wow.
They're going after the football. Dodged a big bullet. Spotted on the 1.
Perkins. Ellis. Touchdown, Virginia. 3 possessions and 3 scores for the Cavaliers.
team is backing down from each other. And those kids are not backing away from each other either.
Jordan Ellis does get his 8th score of the year. Delaney will push through the point. Robert and I is happy. First half so far for Antonio Gandy Golden. Just 1 catch. Several targets for the big timer for Liberty. Espinoza to take the kick for the Flames. Hangs it high. Seneca with the return off the 6. And pretty good lick around the 24-yard line. That's where the Flames will get started. Our Dockers always on. Well, the missed field goal by Probert. That led to a Perkins touchdown run of 13 yards. And then the interception by Brown on what looked like a miscommunication to Keogh. And then 10 plays later, Ellis the score.
Yeah, and everything what you look at this Liberty football team, their mistakes have been self-inflicted. Virginia doing a nice job of capitalizing on having awareness and understanding they need to stay committed to the process of not doing more than what's asked of them.
And that's the carry for Hickson, the redshirt junior from Lynchburg, who's got 4 career games over 100 yards. Robert Snyder into the lineup for Virginia at linebacker, playing alongside Zane Zandier in the tackle. Second down. Hickson keeps his balance, and he'll roll across the 35, and that'll be a Liberty first down. Hickson, the son of a coach. His dad at one point was an assistant here at Virginia.
The thing I like, he's staying committed to running the ball front side, reading his blocks.
There's Calvert going to work again. First and 10 play for the Flames. And Hickson that time has his blocking cave in. Charles Snowden, the big outside linebacker. The first Cavalier there, Rebecca.
Well, guys, you were mentioning that Antonio Gandy Golden's been a little quiet. He's not quiet on the sidelines. He's the type of player who will sing, who will dance, who tries to get all of his teammates amped up, reminding them on the sidelines just now, we need to have a little fun, guys.
Calvert throws to Farrow. Boy, it's been a nice first half for B.J. Farrow. That'll be a first down for Liberty to the Virginia 46-yard line there. Redshirt seniors come up big here, Takeo.
Yeah, they are coming up big, and he runs a simple route going in, stems out, and it makes it very hard for Bryce Hall to be able to come back out and contest that throw and catch. But I like the play calling what Liberty is doing. They're not panicking. They're staying committed to their game plan.
Here's Hickson again, trying to bounce it to the near side. And Frankie Hickson, I think he'll be close to another Liberty first down. He'll have it after the tackle by Thornhill.
Their right tackle, Sam Isaacson, he's dominating on the outside. Charles Snowden put a good body in front of him.
There's Hickson, a couple more. The more success they have on the ground, the quicker the tempo gets, too.
Yeah, and it makes it hard. It makes it hard for the defensive coordinator. You look at the Virginia defensive player, they're looking to the sideline, trying to get the call.
And Hickson, a yard there, but that'll be enough for the first down. Shy of the Cavalier 25. Takeo, feels like a big drive for Liberty with under 5 to go first half.
Very big drive. You took the words right out of my mouth. They need to score here in order to keep this game somewhat relatively close to be competitive. They have to.
Pickett comes in the game. They're running it with Peyton Pickett, but not very far that time. Eli Handback, the tackle for Virginia. A lot of running plays for Liberty, maybe more than we thought.
Yeah, maybe more than we thought, but we have to remember they came into this game with 10 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games and finished the last 6 games with 40 or more rushes. So this is a running football team complete passing the football efficient-wise and also running the football.
Second down and 8. Calvert hands to Pickett. Virginia not having it there. Jordan Mack, who missed 4 games with an injury, got hurt in the Louisville game. Pops Peyton Pickett right here at the edge.
Look at the read by Jordan Mack. He's patient. I understand my defensive linemen are in front of me. See what you hit, Jordan. Keep your head up. But nice technique, nice tempo to be able to make that play.
Pickett coughed it up, able to collect it, though. And Liberty lives on 3rd down. Calvert's got 10 seconds to snap it here. Gandy Golden to the top of your screen.
They got the one-on-one matchups they want.
Flips it for Pickett. And to the 20. Just a gain of a couple there. Matt Gamm playing outside. Looped around and retraced his steps to make the tackle.
I thought they had the one-on-one matchup, but they went to a cover 3 zone. 4 under 3 deep, and it took away all of the windows underneath. That's the reason why Stephen Carriage just dropped it off to his running back.
37-yard try for Probert. Remember, he missed from 51 at the other end of the stadium. And this kick is good. So Alex Probert, the junior from visit Monticello. Probert will kick it away. Joe Reed deep. And there'll be a return. Reed 32-yard line. And that's where the Cavaliers will go. Well, 21-10 our score. And the Liberty Flames have run the ball to Keogh out of that tempo base offense.
They have, and this is one of the things that they needed to do in order to be competitive in this football game. The thing that they're missing is not converting on 3rd downs on the offensive side, but out-rushing Virginia.
Virginia, by the way, averaging 9 yards of play, and Perkins going to look for 9 and then some, and it's Zacchaeus. A lot of contact with Wilson. No flag.
Jordan Wilson did a very nice job. I'm more so impressed with, look at him. He waits until the last minute, puts that right arm around, and that's the reason why it wasn't a pass interference call.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good right there.
Yeah, nice technique. Yep. Great patience.
Crowd wanted to flag, but nothing to be had out of that. 2nd down and 10. Good first half, by the way, passing for Bryce Perkins. And that's picked. Wilson, the interception, needs a block inside the 10, and Perkins will pull him down at the 7. 3rd interception of the year for Wilson.
Jordan Wilson, this is your drive.
Well, the Probert field goal, and now 2 plays later, an interception.
He's playing corner, a simple squat cover 2 technique on that side, playing a trap technique, and that's what happens. Bryce Perkins didn't even see him. And as a quarterback, they've been taught, okay, you have to read that coverage from left to right. Jordan Wilson did a nice job of just playing off, came up at the line of scrimmage late. Now he's dunking the football, showing respect that, hey, I got a pick, guys.
1st and goal at the 7 for Calvert and the Flames. Here's Hickson, and Frankie Hickson, the touchdown. Fiordelise did a nice job on the pull and block for him.
We've been talking about their offensive line, Thomas Sargent, being Fiordelise. Look at him pull on the outside. And he comes through and cleans up Quentin Nelson, the safety. Easy walk-in touchdown.
So the interception and 33-yard return The point after makes it a 4-point game, Takeo.
We have a ball game right now, 21-16. Liberty is giving Virginia.
Bob Major Wilson's third interception of the season, a 33-yard return. Ooh, you liked that, didn't you?
And he did it left-handed.
And then Frankie Hickson's second rushing score of the day. And all of a sudden, we got a 4-point game. Greatness Made here brought to you by Synovus. Bryce Perkins, who started 7 for 7, 104 yards and a touchdown, is 0 for 3 since with a pick. And now Joe Reed will return it. 2 yards deep. Here goes Reed. He's been close. And now he fires across the 30 out to the 35 again. Well, Takeo, we have ourselves a brand new ball game, don't we, partner?
We do. And you look at UVA, you think, okay, what do you do? 2 minutes left in the second quarter. What's the mentality? Do you push the ball down the field? Do you try to regroup and say, you know what, we'll talk about it at halftime? No. If you're Virginia right now, you come out, you try to come out and you force the issue of trying to get a touchdown right before half.
Perkins. And that is Ellis. Just a couple of yards in.
This defensive line of Liberty is playing very good football today. Jawan Wells stacking it up tough in the middle. And the reason why I say UVA needs to come out with that mentality is because they understand they have a lot on their plate to lose. And Bronco talked about it. Hey, I gave the kids a day off and told them this is what we need to do and this is what we did wrong. And it just backs up and verifies everything that he's been teaching his kids.
Perkins, this is a designed run. And he gets out on the perimeter to the right side. And that was Filer, the right guard, that helped him pick up the first down. Takeo, here's also the double dip. You get a look at Jake Filer, the redshirt senior from Parkersburg, West Virginia here.
He comes around and pulled, and if you're a DB, I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, you better cut him because there's no way you're going to stand up to him. Jake Filer, 6'5", 315 pounds, senior from Parkersburg, Virginia.
Here's Zacchaeus, and he'll get to the midfield line as we go to 70 seconds to go. Jackson to stop. Takeo, Virginia here has a chance for the double dip, too. Last possession of the first half, potentially, and don't get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and that's another great point. That's the reason why you want to push the issue to double dip and have an opportunity to get points both times.
Perkins thought about the throw. He'll keep it first down and more. Look at Bryce Perkins, and there'll be a flag thrown. That's a horse collar. And it'll be on Jawan Wells, I believe, who made the tackle. There's a look at 54, the defensive end from Dublin, Georgia.
I thought he pulled the
personal foul, horse collar tackle, number 54, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
And now the Cavaliers with 48 seconds left.
He stuck the hand in the back of the shoulder pass, and you can't do that for player safety reasons.
Ball at the 17 here. 2 timeouts left for Bronco Mendenhall. This is Ellis. He'll get 7. And there's the timeout. You see Bronco Mendenhall got down the sideline pretty quick there.
Brendan Tillman came up with a nice tackle. That was one play away, one broken tackle away from being a touchdown.
So a quick timeout and a 4-point lead for Virginia, but the Cavaliers driving here in the final half minute. Now time for this Saturday's Aflac trivia question. There's Turner Gill. What's up, my man?
Aflac!
You bet. Turner Gill finished 4th in the 1983 Heisman Trophy voting. What 3 players finished ahead of him? Answer in a moment.
Oh, I know that one, but I'm not going to give it away.
And we talked about it yesterday in the truck.
But hey, that's for us to know, not for the people at home to hear, guys.
Gotcha. Okay. Turner Gill, who, by the way, his center was Dave Remington, who the Remington Trophy is named after. Remember, the running back was pretty good, too.
Hint, hint.
The running back was not I Am Hip, by the way. That was a Nebraska star of the late 70s. Perkins out of the Virginia timeout. Ellis the carry, and right at Brandon Tillman, who Takeo just talked about. And there's Bronco Mendenhall taking his last timeout. 3rd and short coming up. All right, so the timeout gives us a chance. Now we can get to our trivia question answer. So Turner Gill finished 4th. This is a good list, by the way. 1983, the winner, his teammate Mike Rozier.
Steve Young, 2nd. Listen, Steve Young 2nd, Doug Flutie 3rd. But the crazy thing, you have 2 teammates that finished in the top 4. Man, that's crazy.
And I was thinking about this morning. The only other time I can remember was that Reggie Bush, Lindell White, where Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, same era. That's the last time I can remember anything like that remotely happening.
Yeah, that's the last time that
Reggie
I can
Bush,
remember
Matt Leinart, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so as a defender, just think, like, you know how they say, pick your poison. I don't know if you want to deal with neither one of those guys.
Well, you can promise that now. Or the black shirts on defense back then. Here's Ellis. 1st and goal coming up for Virginia. They'll stop the clock with 22 seconds to move the change. Virginia's out of timeouts. Bronco Mendenhall wants a spike here, Takeo.
Yeah, great play call by Bronco.
Oh, he faked it. Throws to the end zone, and Dubois couldn't pull it in against Peters, the corner.
Oh, I tell you what, we are seeing some good football today now. Set it up like he was going to spike it, made everybody in the middle stop. Jeremy Peters had every right to think they were going to spike it, but he stayed in tune. He stayed engaged.
Jana to the near side. Reed and Dubois to the right. Perkins. Flag thrown. That'll be on Virginia, and he's taken out of bounds with 7 seconds left. Ellis, I believe, the guilty party on the hold.
Solomon Ajayi, man, he covered the ground fast just then.
Sure did. Stuart Mullins, the referee today, and he's going to talk to Turner Gill here.
Holding, number 1, offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Takeo, I think Turner Gill wanted to confirm there was no runoff, too.
They call holding on Jordan Ellis. It's kind of hard to see from that angle.
There's Ajayi, though.
Yeah, Ajayi, he's playing another level.
So Delaney will try a 32-yarder. And given the threat the Cavaliers posted, now Turner Gill going to burn a timeout. He's got 2 left here in the final 7 seconds. So he'll put Delaney on ice. Don't forget another edition of ACC All Access coming up this week with Jeff Fischel. Duke has got another talented freshman class on their men's basketball team. We break down the immediate impact they could have on the court, plus catch up with the ACC men's soccer champs all this week with Jeff Fischel on ACC All Access. Check your listings on your regional sports network. Blue Devils were impressive the other night in the win against Kentucky at Indianapolis. ACC basketball off to a good start. Zion Williamson, 6'8", 285, Takeo. Looks like your normal run-of-the-mill offensive lineman playing basketball for the Blue Devils.
I tell you what's funny is they had a big debate, and Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State, he talked about, he said, hey, we may have another LeBron coming into this league. Freakish talent.
32 on the kick. And Delaney pushes it through with 3 seconds left. So Virginia pushes the lead to 7 now with 3 seconds to go. And boy, the Cavaliers cap what is probably a fast and furious scoring half. Liberty took the opening kick with 75 yards in 12 plays, Takeo, but the Cavaliers came right back.
Bryce Perkins going to his main man, Joe Reed. And look, they were not finished. Bryce took it in his own hands and decided, you know what? Big-time players make big-time plays in big games. He took it upon himself to make another score. But the swinging of the move was the interception by Virginia Wilson. They punch it in for a touchdown. And this Liberty football team, Turner Gill is very happy with the performance in the first half. I would love to be a fly on the wall when you go into their locker room at halftime, because not only do they believe that they can score points, but they believe they can win.
This will be Espinosa at the 7. And the final play of the half will be the tackle by Reed at the 25. So Virginia going to take a touchdown lead to the locker room. Turner Gill's got to be pleased with his team. They did miss a field goal opportunity. And then, of course, an interception and touchdown lead for Virginia. Cavaliers will get the ball to start the second half here at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. Last home game of the year for Bronco Mendenhall's team, who's 4-1 here this year. Only lost 8 days ago to Pittsburgh, who, by the way, has a 10-point lead on Virginia Tech in the first half at Heinz Field tonight. Duke already a winner today in the ACC. Syracuse last night. Wake Forest Thursday night. Reed off a high kick at the 10. Joe Reed is dangerous, and Joe Reed is gone. To the house.
Joe Reed takes time to catch the ball, but look at the vision in the scene. But more importantly, look at the blocking. The kicker did not have a chance to be able to catch him. Joe Reed takes it in for the touchdown. I wish I was in that locker room to hear what Bronco Mendenhall had to say to his team.
Flag thrown on the point after by Delaney. Look at this.
And Joe Reed looked.
Point is good.
Joe Reed, who went 98 yards in the bowl game against Navy, now runs one back here today. He's already over 2,000 yards in kick returns, and that's the 3rd of his career, by the way. Here's the way after Liberty, by the way, started the ball game with the drive. Reed ran a couple out. And then, oh, by the way, throw me one, Bryce.
Go up and get it. What we just saw, found the crease. Wes, you could have ran through that hole,
No,
Wes.
sir. No, sir. No, sir. Would have been stopped. Nope. It's kind of you to say, but absolutely no chance. Would have gone down.
Well, I believe he's still, Wes. I still believe him.
Delaney will kick it away. Boy, talk about it. And Virginia, Taquillo was cracking the door for Liberty. Field goal to end the first half, and now the kick return for score by Reed. And here's Espinosa at the 2. And he'll break the 25 and out to the 35. Goes Seneca Espinosa, senior from Northern Virginia. Look at this stuff. #1 in school history is Joe Reed.
Joe Reed has been amazing today. He's doing his part, and he is not done yet.
Hey, Taquillo, he covers the kicks, too. More you can do, right?
The more you can do. Let's see how Liberty comes back and answers.
Buckshot Calvert, the handoff. Hickson picks up about 6 on first down. So Liberty starting from their 35 after the return by Espinosa. There's a look at Calvert, junior from Plantation, Florida, starting for the 27th time today. And Dixon tries to get to the right side. You see Dante Duff, big 56, trying to help him with the block. Third down coming up. Liberty's 4 for 9 today.
This is a big third down for Liberty.
Oh, yeah.
Huge third down.
The Reed kickoff has now put a real premium on this 3rd and short. Almost 2 for the first down. Hickson has it. He got to the 46 before the Cavaliers knocked him back.
Virginia's defensive front trying to be stout. Number 37, Amari Jenkins, coming in. Got there a little late, but reducing the damage on the run.
Peyton Pickett has come in as the running back with Calvert. You see Fouts, the tight end, also in the backfield. Calvert, quick throw, Gandy Golden to catch. Inside the 35. Antonio Gandy Golden, just his 2nd catch of the day.
Playing off coverage. That's an unconventional throw, like a cover 2, and he just found the soft spot and just decided to force it in. Their intent this half, Wes, may be to get Gandy Golden started early.
Virginia trying to get the defense set here as Calvert looks over a 4-man front. Now he'll make a quick throw. That's Fouts, the tight end, inside the 20 to the 18, and a Liberty first down.
I'm loving the play action. What Joe Daly, the offensive coordinator, is doing is sucking everybody up. And the big tight end, Zach Fouts, nice hands with the grab.
And here's Pickett breaking free at the 10, and Peyton Pickett scores the touchdown for the Flames. 18-yard run from Pickett, and Liberty answers.
Wow. You talk about a team that's not intimidated. They don't feel the stage is too big for them. And Peyton Pickett does a nice job of pressing the hole on the left-hand side, making everybody suck up, and then he cuts it back to the right for the touchdown.
So the kickoff return by Reed, and then 6 plays later, Liberty's in the end zone.
Rushing the football over 100 yards already. First time in his career going over 100 yards. And the vision, what he's displaying, is second to none. All through the drives, selling the front side one, cutting back, using his vision. And now he's on the bike, keeping the hamstrings loose, keeping the quads, because he said he's not done yet, Wes. He wants another shot at it.
Boy, Dick Turner giving his team a lot of credit now. Every time it looks like Virginia's throwing the haymaker, Liberty finds a way to stay within reach. They've scored on 8 of 11 drives today. Both teams have. And that time the return will be to the 36-yard line. That's where the Cavaliers will get started. And here's Bryce Perkins out. Joe Reed, our bad boy mowers covering ground. 90-yard kick return, 14-yard TD reception, and a solo tackle on kick cover.
And he was close on several other returns. I don't blame him for not kicking it to him again.
First snap from scrimmage at the 36. Quick throw, Zacchaeus back to work to start the second half. Oh, a little shake on Wilson and into the secondary. To the Liberty 41 before Elijah Benton the tackle.
Well, they better get the memo, because I tell you what, the more you leave Zacchaeus one-on-one coverage with that much cushion, he will turn into a joystick on you and make everybody miss.
Little jab step and a foot drag there, Spikes.
And a little ski skirt.
Yeah. First and 10. Perkins flees the pocket, shoots it across, and dropped by Zacchaeus. Never had it. falling into the Flames bench area. Jawan Wells was pressuring Perkins.
Yeah, pretty good coverage across the board. That's the reason why Bryce Perkins had to hold on to the football. Jawan Wells flushed him out. Very hard throw and a tough catch.
Takeo, they use that spur linebacker almost like the extra safety, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Corbin Jackson's who we're talking about, 28, right?
28. They move him. You will see him inside the box playing like a linebacker. You also see him as a conventional safety. He's the rover guy.
Ellis can't find anything there. Tolan Avery. Big inside technique. Held the point of attack there.
Earlier this week, Wes, we talked to their defensive coordinator, Robert Wembley, and he said, hey, it's not just one guy who needs to step up to the plate. We need Jawan Wells, Tolan Avery, Devin Pearson, Jesse Lemonnier, all of these guys to contribute greatly in order for us to have a chance to win this football game. And they have been playing pretty good so far.
Virginia's hit both of their third downs. There just haven't been many third down plays. Flip to Zacchaeus. The white shirts are around Alameda. And Lemonnier is there, and so is Solomon Ajayi. And the Cavaliers, I don't believe, picked up any yardage there at all. And we're going to see Lester Coleman punt.
The best thing about this play for Liberty, look at Major. He comes up, he makes Zacchaeus, stops his feet, allows the pursuit to come in and make the tackle. Big third down stop.
B.J. Farrow stands at the 10-yard line to take Lester Coleman's punt. Coleman, by the way, 6th in the ACC, just under 42 yards. Going to try and flip this one over on the near side. Farrow for the fair catch.
Given you saw those leaf lays and some other lays that were just from braided ribbon material. Actually, that's from the Anai family, the offensive coordinator. It came right from Hawaii, and the giving of the lay represents the coming or going of a loved one. Wes,
wow. Robert Anai grew up in the islands. A Kahuku Red Raider. Bates would want me to say that. Red Raider for life.
Shout out to Batesy.
Second down play. Hickson trying to find some room in the Cavalier defense now. Starting to push back a little bit on the Liberty run game.
Eli Handback, the defensive end, did a nice job of just being stout in the middle, stopping everything. Now he puts his team in a position to get off on third down. A long 3rd and 9 that Liberty wants to be able to convert to control field position.
Peyton Pickett in the backfield. Gandy Golden is in a slot to the bottom of your screen. Flip it to Pickett. And look at Pickett bouncing, and I think he's short.
Maybe short by a yard.
Would you go? Touchdown difference, Takeo.
I just can't see a reason why you would go for it. Let's see what. Oh, he's not even bringing on the punter. He's going for it.
Here comes Michael Bollinger. Gandy Golden. Peyton Pickett will stay in the backfield.
Wow.
They're going to throw it. Oh! Looking for Gandy Golden. And Brenton Nelson knocked it away.
Brenton Nelson, I see you. Big time play by Brenton Nelson. He knew it was coming. Great coverage. He stayed inside of the hip pocket of Gandy Golden.
So Liberty gives it away on downs at its 15.
And if you're turning Gill right now, I know you're thinking, oh, defense, I need for you to bail me out.
That's a hard bailout with number 3 at the wheel. Perkins, Zacchaeus dropped it. He had gotten the step on the slant against Wilson, Takeo.
They had exactly what they wanted from an alignment standpoint. Fake the zone read. be surprising.
Well, here's the CPI security red zone snap now for Virginia, just inside the Liberty 15. After the Flames went for it on 4th and less than a yard. Perkins, RPO. And now Bryce will flip it to Zacchaeus. How about that? Wilson knocks Zacchaeus out of bounds inside the 9. He's handling it like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, but look at it. See how he holds on to it at the last minute. Always in control. Little careless, or it comes off looking like a little careless, but hey, he made it work.
Ugo Abassi has come in the game. He and Reed and Zacchaeus to the far side. Keep an eye on Dubois here at the boundary. Perkins around the edge. Touchdown. Ran through Brandon Tillman. And Bryce Perkins has his second rushing score of the day.
This is all Bryce Perkins. He knew the box is stacked, and the only thing I have to do is to be able to beat one defender, and that one defender was Brandon Tillman. And Bryce knows my ability is better than yours. That's the reason why they're walking away with the touchdown.
3 plays, 14 yards, under a minute. Delaney's point after. 2 touchdown difference now. Cavaliers get the stop on downs, and then Perkins the score.
In college football, we brag about every week. It matters.
Anybody can lose to anybody on a week-to-week basis.
It's on the committee to look at the entire body of work.
Forget the metrics, just who's a better team.
If they win out, it'll be as good as any one-loss team at the end of the year.
The committee's going by resume.
It's going to be chaos by the time we get to December.
The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN.
We'll play from its 25. Our drive brought to you by Jaguar. And Gandy Golden broken up by Brenton Nelson on the throw from Stephen Calvert.
This might be the play of the game right there. Might be the play of the game. But Bryce Perkins, he bails him out, finds the one-on-one situation.
Liberty plays from its 25, Rebecca.
And guys, the first thing Bryce Perkins did when he got to the sidelines was find Brenton Nelson, who made that touchdown possible. Nelson getting a lot of love after that big stop. It's just what the Hoos defense has been looking for.
Well, it goes back to our conversation yesterday with Nick Howell and Kelly Papinga. Here's the hand to Pickett. And to Keogh, it's about the fact that the Gandy Golden resume had been discussed so much about coming into this ball game today, and Nick Howell said specifically yesterday, our guys are looking forward to the challenge of matching against Antonio Gandy Golden.
Yeah, and the thing that what jumped out to me, I don't think he's lined up in the slot all day. On that 4th and 1, he was aligned in the slot. They knew it, and that was the reason why they was able to get the jump and defend their 4th down play.
Only a couple catches for Gandy Golden. Here's Pickett. He's been outstanding for Turner Gill and the offensive coordinator Joe Daly. Tim Harris the stop. 3rd down coming up for Liberty. 109 yards today for Peyton Pickett out of Arlington, Texas. There is Joe Daly. He knows this play's big. It's a 2-touchdown deficit here in the 3rd quarter. Pickett. I don't know. Forward progress will be the key here. Looks like they're going to award him the 35, and that would likely be enough. And it is.
Peyton Pickett, a little slow to get up, but he did a nice job. He knew he was close to the 1st down, put his head down, tried to get as much as he got.
Mikey Hickson back in the ball game. Calvert loops it down the field. Farrow intercepted. Devontae Cross. Farrow, the intended receiver. Thornhill deflected it, and Devontae Cross has his first career interception.
Nice play call by the offensive coordinator. And I know Devontae Cross, he came down with the interception. But you got to give a lot of credit to Juan Thornhill. He is playing out of his mind. He came from middle field all the way over to be able to get the PBU, knock it up in the air. Devontae Cross with the interception.
See how Virginia attacks. Jordan Ellis. He'll dive for 3. Tolan Avery took him out of the air. Well, now Liberty has really got to be careful here. There haven't been many stops, quite frankly, Takeo either way today, but the Flames need one here if they want to stay in it.
The Flames need a big stop, and they're already down by 2 scores. They cannot afford to get down by 3.
P.K. Kier in the backfield with Jordan Ellis and Bryce Perkins. And Ellis picks up the first down to the 39. Well, Virginia's trying to bounce back. A week ago Friday night, 2 big Darren Hall runs. Pittsburgh beat the Cavaliers 23-13. Bronco Mendenhall's team gathered back on Sunday, as you said at the top, evaluated it, and moved on. And started to work on Liberty today, knowing that they no longer controlled their destiny in the Coastal and might need some help. They're not getting it at Heinz Field today from their rival, the Virginia Tech Hokies. There's a miss on a ball looking for Dubois, was Perkins. So 2nd and 10 coming up.
It looked as if they had some misconfusion after the motion came across from Virginia on the offensive side. I think they thought they were going to get man coverage. They bailed out. Liberty defense bailed out in the zone. And it made it hard to stick that football in there in that window.
So now 2nd in the full 10 for Bryce Perkins. That's Zacchaeus in motion. Out in the flat, Ellis with room. Jordan Ellis banged out of bounds. In Liberty territory at the 44 by Malik Matthews.
They gave this play to Malik Matthews early in the game, and he did the same exact thing. He came too far down in the inside, and they got outflanked on the right side, and that allowed them to be able to pick up the first down.
Tavares Kelly and Hassis Dubois go to the far side. Tanner Cowley, the 2nd tight end. There he is in motion. Perkins thought about the run. And Liberty might have gotten away with a face mask as Perkins is taken down back at the 45. Austin Lewis, true freshman from Jonesboro, Tennessee.
I think he just grabbed the top of his helmet. It was close, but that's good responsibility. That was a nice job of not letting Bryce Perkins outflank the defense.
Austin Lewis can match Bryce Perkins in the flow department, too. Second and a dozen. Zacchaeus on the quick throw. And picks up about 4. 3rd down coming up. Corbin Jackson playing in his 39th career game today for Liberty. The redshirt senior from Charlotte on the stop. Tell you what, Turner Gill in this program, Takeo, they're going up a steep mountain in this transition from FCS to FBS. Their schedule shows it. They've played road games at Army. They went to Albuquerque and Las Cruces in consecutive weeks on the schedule, by the way. Here's a little counter and Zacchaeus on the carry. But the Flames stay home on defense and make the play. The interesting thing about Gill and his team, they're doing this as an independent, the transition to FBS. Now in his 7th season at Lynchburg. And they have been able to do it by getting the schedule done. And next week they'll be at Auburn. And then they're going to play New Mexico State again. They've already played New Mexico State once, and they're going to play them again on November the 24th. That's what you got to do as an independent sometimes.
Wow.
And And they'll finish the year with Norfolk State. At least that's what's on the schedule right now. That ball checked up inside the 5 off the foot of Coleman. Now today's their first meeting with Virginia. They're 0-5 all time against the ACC. And here's the Logan's Roadhouse upcoming road trip. Now Virginia you see next year, right?
2019. Yep.
Now here's 2020 at Virginia Tech, at Syracuse.
Same year, 2020.
At Virginia.
Oh, goodness.
At NC State.
Man.
Then they'll go back to Syracuse in 21. Wake in 22. By the way, they do have Syracuse coming to Williams Stadium in Lynchburg as well in the future. Plus games down the road with North Carolina and others. But that's just the next couple of years. Buckshot Calvert from the end zone. He'll be sacked.
It's not a safety. I think he was at the 1-yard line.
Robert Snyder got to him. Stuart Mullins. Crowd here not happy.
Yeah, they
wanted the deuce on the safety.
But great pressure up the middle, West.
Watch Calvert's feet here, Takeo. Yep, just out.
Robert Snyder in on the play.
Calvert going to take the shot and intercepted Thornhill. 5th interception of the year for Juan Thornhill. And Calvert is now giving it away twice. 3rd interception of the day. Back-to-back possessions now for the Flames.
He tried to go to the Golden Gandy. A Gandy Golden. And Juan Thornhill with the big-time play. And Stephen Calvert, he can't throw the football up there and just let it hang like that. You're playing against too many good athletes who have speed and that can get over there and make the play.
Chris Sharp in the backfield. Perkins wants to throw. This is Dubois, the catch. And knocked down around the 29. This is the second time in 4 second-half possessions that Virginia has started in plus territory. Remember, Liberty gave it away on downs. The Cavaliers started off the 15 and had a touchdown 3 plays later. And here they're starting from the Flames' 30-yard line. Or 35, rather. Ellis. And not a lot of room there. It'll be 3rd down and short. Tolan Avery the stop for Liberty.
I tell you what, this Liberty defense has stepped up and rose to the occasion when it comes to stopping the run. Tolan Avery played off of the block several times tonight and was able to make the stop.
3 quarters in the books at Scott Stadium. Virginia leads by 2 scores. Been a big day for Joe Reed. Back with the final 15 right after this.
In college football, we brag about every week. It matters.
Anybody can lose to anybody on a week-to-week basis.
It's on the committee to look at the entire body of work.
Forget the metrics, just who's a better team.
If they win out, it'll be as good as any one-loss team at the end of the year.
The committee's going by resume.
It's going to be chaos by the time we get to December.
The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN, presented by Goodyear.
Probability if you score 24 or more, you're 1+1 or better in the turnover margin, and you win the field position battle by 5 or more yards.
Very legit. We used to have something similar to that when I was playing in the National Football League, and it is so true. The little things, but he uses that to show his guys and proves it to him after the game.
Here's Ellis, first play of the fourth. On 3rd and short, and Virginia's got a fresh set of downs. Well, let's show you today and the Pillars. Well, first of all, they've scored 24 or more. They've got 38. They're +2 in the turnovers. And they are +20 in field of position.
Yep, but I really think the difference in this game is you look at the turnovers on down, and then the interception. That has been the biggest difference in this game. The reason why they've been able to stay up over Liberty.
Ellis, boy, runs hard, doesn't he?
Runs mad, runs angry.
Did you like meeting a mad guy?
Oh, I loved
in the gap?
I loved it.
Because you were mad too?
I was mad too, and I just wanted to show you who can be madder. You like the challenge.
Jordan Ellis' first step is he's mad.
His first step is mad and downhill.
Yeah. Sure is. Jamari Peacock's coming to the ball game as well now with Perkins in the backfield with Ellis. Liberty showing pressure. There's Dubois, had it and it got punched out. Incomplete. Corbin Jackson banged it out of there.
Corbin Jackson is putting together a nice game. It was almost close to a catch. He's been very active. Great awareness. You like football players like that. He's in tune to what's going on, understands formations, what can come out of certain formations. You like that.
Virginia's 40th red zone possession of the year. They're 5 for 5 today. Perkins, Dubois, and be just short of the first down. And we got a Cavaliers shaking up. It looks like Garrett Bulmer.
Jesse Lemonier, he comes around the corner.
Well, you see Bulmer shaking up after the Lemonier hit. Timeout in Charlottesville. And oh, Garrett got the ankle rolled in too.
Yeah.
Boy, we have not heard much at all out of Jesse Lemonier, the outstanding defensive end who came in with 9 sacks. Here's Jordan Ellis. Nice play at the mesh with he and Perkins on 4th down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 6 now. Bronco Mendenhall's team up 2 scores. About 2 minutes gone, 4th quarter.
I think when he slipped, I actually think that helped him to be able to get the yardage. Solomon Ajayi, he came through. He knew it was coming. He overran the play because he slipped.
You know, the 2 guys we talked about this week leading up to the game, Lemonier at the end and Ajayi in the middle, we just haven't talked much about today. Virginia's done a nice job neutralizing both players. Perkins working to the wide side, and here is Reed, another touchdown. Joe Reed's got 2 touchdown catches and a kick return for a score today.
I really like this play. A lot of teams are using it. They send 4 strong. What does that mean? They bring 4 guys to one side of the formation, and what it does, it outflanks the defense because you have a guy running over late, and they have the numbers essentially at the end of the day to be able to put a blocker on a blocker, and you ask your guy, you know what? Just score. Run where they're not.
Well, Delaney's point could push it to 3 touchdown difference, and it's good.
Take another.
Kenny.
Oh, yeah. You'll forget the next question you want to ask.
Espinosa from the 2. Seneca working back, 25, 30, and flag will be thrown. And let's see. Let's check the marker here. And by the way, during the break, Taquillo, what we got here?
Swag surfing, baby. That's what they're doing.
Chuck Davis, the wide receiver, the lead singer and driver of the Winnebago.
That's when you're having a good time. You know, I hate it when people say, hey, you're playing football, you're playing the game. You got to go out there and have fun. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you. The only way you have fun is when you're winning.
Yep.
Period. If you're not winning, you're not having fun. So what you saw right there from those guys, they're really enjoying the fact that they're winning. And when you win, you dance.
Off the 20 or the 19 it is for the Flames. Calvert's got Hickson with him. And Frankie Hickson will get the call here on first down. And a pickup of almost 5. Well, Liberty is going to stay on the road next week and go to a place called Jordan Hare Stadium.
That's the war. That's the cry of the War Eagle.
Speaking of the pillars of the program, they'll go down there and find a young man's jersey from Sandersville, Georgia, who went to Auburn and became a stud.
That's right.
Yep. And here's Hickson. He'll be thrown for a loss. Fighting through Jordan Mack, the junior from outside of Atlanta at Lithonia. And by the way, congratulations. You and Calvin Johnson and Mark Teixeira are going in the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame this winter?
Yeah, we are. We will be inducted, I want to say, the last weekend in January.
In Macon, Georgia.
In Macon, Georgia. Yeah. Big honor, huge honor, especially whenever somebody stops to recognize what you've been doing since your grassroots days.
Yep. Big honor for you. And you're on the list for Canton, Ohio.
Yep. One of the nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's been a good year.
Here is Stubbs. Been a while since DJ Stubbs has made a play in this ball game. He got off to a hot start today.
He did.
They were going opposite Gandy Golden, and DJ Stubbs was the beneficiary early, and here he is converting for a first down.
Yeah, and he's a very slippery, and I thought they did a good job, the coaching staff, knowing that, hey, Gandy Golden will have a lot of attention, but this gives you an opportunity, Stubbs, to be able to come in and make some plays, and he has.
Calvert at 149 yards on 25 throws today. And almost 5 minutes gone here in the fourth. This is Pickett, who's up over 100 yards, and he'll pick up 4. Antonio Gandy Golden. Ooh, just 2 for 38.
2 for 38. 5 targets. He was over 200 yards receiving last week.
Earlier this year at Albuquerque, Taquillo, in a 52-43 win, he had 11 catches, 245. I mean, he makes the 200-yard game look easy.
Yeah, and you talked about one great receiver, Calvin Johnson. You know, I think big guys who can go up and not only make the contested throw and catch, but who can come down with it and not only run by you. He's one of these guys. Turner Gill and his staff talked about you have to develop players like that, and he is one of the players that has developed quite nicely.
It's interesting, though, and I know Rebecca had a chance to visit with Stephen Calvert this week and listen to the admiration between quarterback and wide receiver. And it shows in the numbers they've put up. Here's Calvert, and Gandy Golden couldn't hang on. Right in front of Tim Harris, the veteran, 6th-year player out of Richmond. So Antonio Gandy Golden turned away, and a punt coming from Aiden Alvis. First time we've seen Alvis today.
Yeah, Stephen Calvert, he just threw it a little bit behind him, but that's no excuse. Gandy Golden is good enough to make those type of catches.
Well, Turner Gill, wish he had that one back, Rebecca.
OS, you talk about that relationship. It really started when they both arrived on campus. They spend all offseason together just working on plays, Buckshot and AJG. Buckshot told me AJG's a genius. He's the type of guy who can put together a Rubik's Cube, no problem. And Gandy Golden also has high admiration for his quarterback.
Liberty will down the punt inside the 15 at the 14. And that's where Virginia will take over. The rotation started right at the top, Takeo.
Yeah, and I was wondering what was said in that locker room at halftime because these guys came out blazing.
Joe Reed, the touchdown on the kick. Brenton Nelson on 4th down. And then the interceptions in a hurry. There's Devontae Cross, his first. And then Juan Thornhill gets his 5th of the year. And just like that, Virginia got a quick score early in the 4th quarter. And we have a challenge on the field here of did Kelly's knee touch or did the ball hit Tavares Kelly? Ooh, that might have hit the right foot.
Uh-oh.
And we do know that Caleb Coleman got a hand on this. Oh, yeah. That hit the ankle. And if so, the turnover will be the 2nd of the day for Virginia. And rule the fumble, and that would Tavares Kelly.
I tell you what, Tavares Kelly did a very nice job of winning an Oscar on that one. Because I didn't even
see the ball change rotation when it hits.
So he was like, you know what? It didn't hit me.
Meanwhile, Stuart Mullins has got the headset on near the Virginia bench. And he's in consultation not only with the replay folks here, a couple doors down from us, but also the folks at the command center in Greensboro. And, ooh.
That's close.
That was not called on the field, so they have got to see it here. You need indisputable video evidence to overturn this. And Stuart Mullins. We're a little into the process here now. And let's get the interpretation.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Liberty is charged with a timeout and may not challenge for the rest of the game.
Well, there you go. You gotta have the indisputable video evidence.
Tavares Kelly, I'm taking your Oscar back. I guess he knew he didn't hit him. That's the reason why he didn't look down at it.
Virginia with the ball at its 16. I will tell you there's one thing about this Virginia team that I think we've learned over the last month. We heard it yesterday at our visit with Bronco Mendenhall and his staff and a couple of players. And it's definitely a change here. Here's Perkins. On 1st down, there's Jordan Ellis. Picking up about 3.5 on 1st down. Takeo, that is the last game of the regular season on November 24th in Blacksburg. Is a premium thing for this football program after 14 years. They have not beaten Virginia in 14, or Virginia's not beaten Virginia Tech in 14 years.
Yeah, and best believe they did not want to come into this game thinking down the line, thinking about that game. But it's in the back of their mind. Bronco Mendenhall, he said it at the beginning of the year. We have to beat Virginia Tech.
Ellis out to the 25, close to a 1st down. So how long has it been? I'll tell you how long it's been. Matt Schaub, my man Schaubby, slinging it to Alvin Pearman, Takeo.
Whoa, Schaub, blast from the past.
Give me some Wally Lundy. I got that for you. 3 scores for Lundy. Brian Randall was the ACC Player of the Year for the Hokies. But Virginia won the game in 2004. That was the last time. Perkins to Ellis. And not sure here on 3rd and short if he got enough. He needed to get past the 26, I believe.
It's going to be close.
Well, here's the other thing to note. They're going to call it 4th down, aren't they? Yep, sure are. November 29, 2003, Virginia won 35-21. So that's the last one, Takeo. And the other one is this. It's been 18 of the last 19.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
18 of the last 19.
Yes, sir. 14 straight, 18 of 19. Coleman to punt. Drives it towards Stubbs. DJ trying to reroute and reroutes into trouble, and look who's got it. Joe Reed. Tell you what.
Been too long, and that has to happen to me for the program to advance and accelerate at the rate I would like it to.
Liberty takes over at its 25. Takeo, I'm going to get your thoughts on that comment by Bronco Mendenhall from last July. Here in just a moment. Here's Hickson. He'll get 9 on 1st down out to the 34. That quote came from July. We're into November. He spoke as passionately about the game yesterday as he did in that quote, I thought.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes to show you where the program is. I remember last year they went to a bowl game, and when they came in the locker room after the victory, you know, Bronco did an interview and he was tearing up. And it goes to show you the progress that he's making. But he wants to take that next step, and he knows he cannot take that next step unless he goes to Virginia Tech and they defeat them.
All right, you played in arguably one of the great college football rivalries of all time.
Yes, sir.
How important then for what he's talking about his program is winning that game? Because sometimes you hear coaches all the time say about rivalries, hey, we know it's a big game, but it's no more important than the other 11. Clearly that's not the case here, though.
No, that's not the case, and you really have to wonder, you know, what was the influences? Yeah, you want to win as a coach all the time, but you got to know the boosters here. It's important to them because they want to have those bragging rights. I played in one of the biggest rivalries in college football, Auburn, Alabama. And one of the things I remember walking around on campus throughout the entire week, they would tell you, we don't care what happened the first 10 weeks of the season. You better beat Alabama.
Right.
And that's how much importance, that's how much weight they put on this football game. And Bronco understands that, and that's the reason why I think, and I believe the reason why he came out and said that, because he's not in the business of selling hope. He wants to go out and prove his victories.
Well, November 2003, the last time Virginia beat Virginia Tech. Let's give you some perspective. The #1 song, oh, Baby Boy by Beyonce.
The Cat in the Hat, the #1 movie.
Look at the cost of gas.
Take me back.
There was no Facebook. There was no iPhone. How about that?
But one thing we forgot to mention, during that year, I remember, I read about the iPhone was coming out because I couldn't wait on it. I was like, man, I can't wait to get this new iPhone that's coming out.
Under 4 to play. Calvert, 3rd down. And misfires to Gandy Golden. Harris was there on the coverage. Boy, frustrating day for Buckshot Calvert and Antonio Gandy Golden.
Tim Harris was all over Gandy Golden. All over him.
Punt coming here from Alvis. And Chuck Davis, who led the dance party, back to return the punt. Tavares Kelly kind of took his job early in the year. And a fair catch call for and made at the 15. Let's check the scoreboard on week 11. And of course, you know, Thursday night, NC State lost to Wake Forest in the final half minute. Last night, Syracuse put 54 on the cards. Daniel Jones went for 548 yards of total offense today as Duke's quarterback against Carolina, including 186 on the ground. And then you see 38-15 now. Pittsburgh leading Virginia Tech. And Darren Hall, 14 yards shy of 200. On just 7 carries, he's got 186 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Around the edge comes Lamont Atkins. He'll pick up 9 on first down. He's the second running back with a carry on the ground today for Virginia is Atkins, a sophomore from Burton, Virginia. Yeah, Darren Hall's got another big touchdown run. He had 75 yards here last Friday night. He's got another one of those in his holster today.
Yeah, had 200 yards rushing last week playing against Virginia, and it seems like he probably will have 200 yards rushing again tonight.
Yep, big ball game still to come. Florida State's at Notre Dame, Miami's at Georgia Tech, and of course Clemson, BC, the headliner today in the league in the Atlantic Division. And Stuart Mullins and his crew have come to conference with about 3 minutes to go.
The line of the game was not reached on the play. The line of the game is the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 1.
So 2nd and 1 coming up. Well, we talked about Liberty throughout the transition from FCS to FBS for Turner Gill and the Flames, and this first ever meeting with Virginia here today, Takeo, and it is a tall order. But Gill and his staff, I think, have excellent perspective. Ian McCall, their athletic director, giving them some solid leadership, but this is not easy what they're doing.
No, it's not easy at all. And the thing that you take away from this, it's several things that he can take away from this game. I think they have a very good coaching staff, especially on the offensive side with their offensive coordinator, Joe Daly. But the perspective they should take away from this game is that if they don't commit any fouls or do any self-inflicting wounds with turnovers, they can pretty much score with anybody in the nation. That's how big, that's how important, and that's how good their offense can be. Defensively, they still need some work, but overall, I think they have a chance to be able to compete with depth, getting quality depth.
Well, they've got quality players, too. We've told you about Gandy Golden Calvert. Rebecca Jesse Lemonnier, we haven't talked much about today, but that's a guy who's had an impact on this season for the Flames.
He certainly has. And really, Wes, it's an interesting story because he only started playing football because he lost a bet. He always played basketball, but, you know, that's what his brothers did. But he had a bet with his friend the day before basketball tryouts his freshman year that if he made 3 shots in a row, he would try out for the basketball team. If he missed any of those shots, he would try out for football. Well, he didn't make any of those shots, so he held up his end of the deal. He played football, and he told me he's glad looking back that he lost the bet, but he said, man, I love basketball, and I could play for hours, and I promise you, I've worked on my shot since then.
Well, he's a talented guy. Of course, he's the younger brother of the former Auburn Tiger, Corey Lemonnier.
I was a big fan of him when he was on the Plains.
I'd hope. Come on, man. Straight ahead, Ellis. And the clock now to about 70 seconds to play. Corey's had a nice run in the league, by the way. Jacksonville and a couple other places. San Diego. Don't forget another edition of ACC All Access. Duke's talented freshman class. What kind of immediate impact did they have? Well, they wiped Kentucky by 34 the other night in Indianapolis. And also news of the ACC Men's Soccer Championship. All coming up this week with Jeff Fischel on ACC All Access here on your regional sports network. We are headed to a doubleheader for you next week. Takeo and Evan are going to be unlocking the gate at BB&T Field next week.
Yep.
Pitt and Wake Forest.
High in the sky, Evan. I know you're listening and watching right now.
Jamie Newman and the Deeks coming off the win in Raleigh, by the way, against the Panthers, who lead Virginia Tech in the 4th quarter. And then Batesy will be back with us. And James, we're headed to Atlanta for these Cavaliers and Georgia Tech, who's got Miami tonight. So you may be looking at the leaders in the Coastal next Saturday at noon.
Maybe. I tell you what, the ACC Coastal is wrapping up quite nicely and competitive down the stretch with 2 games left.
Tigers, by the way, a win tonight at Boston and Clemson.